I was denied a visa to the UK, to the US, and the Schengen Visa. Hello everyone, welcome back to Linda Tina TV. If it's not your first time here, if it is your first time, thank you so much for tuning in. Please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell just so that you're notified when I post a new video. So as you've already seen from the title of the video, I am going to be telling you my visa denial story. I was denied a visa to the UK, to the US, and the Schengen Visa. And these are three important visas, at least where I come from. So let's get right into the video. Before I get into the denials, please keep in mind that these are tourist visas. Tourist visas. Other visas may work differently, may require different things, but I was trying to get tourist visas. So to go visit these countries and come back to Uganda, where I come from. So let's start with the very first one, the very first denial. That was the Schengen Visa. The Schengen Visa allows you to visit all Schengen states. It doesn't matter which country you ask the visa, you get granted the visa, you are allowed to visit other Schengen states, which are all in Europe. You can go and look up those states. I asked the Schengen Visa through the Italian embassy because at the time I was dating my boyfriend at the time, and he's Italian, so he wanted me to come and visit him. It was about less than a year into our relationship. So the story times are from like 10 years ago, more than 20. The Schengen Visa is more than 10 years ago, yeah. So what happened is he didn't think it would be such a big deal. I mean, he didn't know that visa denials are something very real in Africa. So we get our documents ready. He was my main sponsor because, guys, I was 22, so I didn't really have that much money on my bank account. It was just some little money from my part-time jobs while I went to uni. I was going to uni, so I was a young student. And so that was my situation at the time, just so that you put everything in perspective. He put all the documents together. He attached his bank statements, his insurance from his bank, from the insurance company here, just to prove that this person is going to be taken care of by me. And so we put in the documents for the visa, and the visa was denied. So my boyfriend at the time spoke to the visa officer, and the reason for the denial was that this person doesn't look like someone we can trust will come back to her country, Uganda, after the visa has been granted and she's landed in Italy. But what offended us, and especially my husband, was the fact that he also highlighted that many of these young girls, young African girls, use their boyfriends to get to Europe, and when they get there, some of them don't even make it to the destination that they said they were going to. Like in transit, they disappear. Many of them disappear and do prostitution out there, or meet other men, or find work, or whatever it is, stay in the country legally. So what he was trying to say is that I'm not sure if your girlfriend is one of these people, or she's actually a decent girl who's coming to visit you in Italy and come back home. Oh my God. One, I was offended that he categorized me like that. I know that these things do happen, but he thought I was this kind of person. And my boyfriend at the time, was so mad. Was like, so you actually think I am dating a girl who's just using me to get to Europe, not even arriving Italy, but actually in the airport somewhere, she'll just disappear. So that ended like that. But what happened is a few months later, we decided that we could try again for the visa, maybe putting more proof that we are actually people they can trust, and I will actually come back to Uganda. I'm just going to visit, but through another embassy. So we went through the Norwegian embassy because we wanted to visit Oslo. We went to Oslo because the visa was granted. And this is just to show you that just because you've been rejected a visa once doesn't mean that you cannot be granted the visa if you ask again. You just need to prove to them probably a little more that you're asking the visa for the right reasons you're actually presenting. And so I went to Norway, and that was a nice summer, and came back to Uganda like I said I would. We were not giving up just yet. So we went back to the Italian embassy many months after the first denial. This is after I had already been to Europe, so I've proved to them that I've been to Europe, got the visa to another Schengen state, and I've come back to Uganda like I said I would. And I had now finished uni, so I had some money on my account from the job I was doing at that time. So I presented my own bank accounts to also show them that I have something of my own, not just being sponsored by this foreign guy. And then also I had a job at that time that I presented a letter from work. And we presented our documents again. I had an insurance from Uganda because maybe relying so much on this person, my boyfriend, showed them that maybe I'm someone who doesn't really have purpose, so I can just go to Europe and disappear there because I have no real purpose. I'm just assuming those are some of the reasons that they could have had to deny me the first visa. And so I put all these things in order again, and I asked for the visa. This time it was granted. And so I came to Italy, visited my boyfriend several times in and out. I used to get 3 months visas, tourist visas, and come back to Uganda. And from then on, I think I had developed the reputation of, the right reputation. And so I didn't have any more visa problems. And then I moved here. I had a 1-year visa to study Italian after I touched an Italian school. And that was the end of my visa story in the Schengen states. Over to visa denial number 2, to the USA. So by the time I asked for the US visa, I had already been to Europe in and out, but I wasn't living in Italy yet. I was still in Uganda, but we had this brilliant idea to go and spend New Year's Eve in the USA, in New York. The embassy thought otherwise. So what happened is I got my documents together. My boyfriend at the time was still my main sponsor. So his bank statements, we had hotel bookings, flight bookings, the whole itinerary of the things we wanted to do while in New York. And honestly, I didn't think this would be a problem because I had already proved that I'm a person who likes to travel but gets back to her country. I had been to Thailand, Dubai. I had been to so many places in Europe and all over Africa. I had been around, so you could see I'm actually a person who likes to explore with my boyfriend at the time. And so things were really consistent. I didn't think there would be a problem at all. So I pick out my appointment date. Everything is done online. I get to the US Embassy in Uganda. My interview was very short. This lady was actually very nice. She was very nice and polite with me. I wasn't nervous at all. She didn't really look through my documents at that moment because I guess she had already looked through them before, or she already had her mind made up. I don't know. She just asked me a few questions about my relationship with my boyfriend. We also had pictures attached to just prove we are real. And she asked me about what we plan to do there. I told her about the plans we had when we get to New York. And then a few minutes in, she gives me this letter and tells me, I'm sorry, but I don't think you can be granted the visa basing on what you have given us. And I walk away, open the envelope when I move away from the desk, on my way out to understand why, Apparently, the visa was denied because I could not prove that I have any real attachments in my country, so they are not sure that I will be coming back after my trip. So I had to prove that I had a good reason to come back to my country after I visited New York. Now, what makes me crazy about these visas is that at 22, what attachments could you possibly have? Not just as an African young woman, but as any 22-year-old around the world. What attachments do you really have? So I was just out of uni, granted, trying to find work. So of course I don't have a bank account with money overflowing, and I don't have children yet, and I don't have property yet. So what kind of attachments am I supposed to have? That is something that still puzzles me, because this was always the main reason highlighted for the visa refusals. You don't have enough proof that you will come back to your country because you don't have any real attachments. And now, visa denial number 3 to the UK. This one is interesting because I was already in Europe when I asked for this visa. I didn't ask for it while I was in Uganda. So when I came to Italy, for the first year, I got a student visa. So I had a residence permit for a year to study Italian in Italy. While I was here, I thought I could go and visit London for the very first time. It was a complicated process because they don't even have an embassy or a visa office where I live in Milan. I had to travel to Rome and put all my documents there and my fingerprints there and then wait for my passport to get back. Anyway, I do all that. I still was confident about this visa because I'm thinking, I'm in Europe, you see that I'm here. I've been here for a while and I've been in and out of here. And also, I'm studying Italian. I was just a little into my year of Italian classes. So I feel like you can just see that I have a stable life here in Italy. Nope. So I leave my passport at the visa office and I put all my documents, my bank statements, because I did have a bank account here in Italy at that time. My husband's boyfriend still at the time, bank statements, his residence, his residential address, which is my address as well, my permit to stay here. Okay, all things set, let's see what happens. My passport comes back a few days later, and what do I find? Denied! Let's just say there's no getting used to it because I was mad. I was thinking, what is it now? And the reason, as always, was that I don't have enough attachments or proof of enough attachments in my current residential country, and so they are not sure that I am going for the reasons I say I am going for. I don't know how I'm supposed to prove that I'm actually really attached to my boyfriend, who is now my husband. And I really like Italy, and I'm just here to study Italian and go back to Uganda, at least for now. At that time, that was the plan. And I just want to visit London. That's all. So anyway, that visa was denied. I went on about my life. And then I went back to Uganda, came back. Me and my boyfriend at the time were now getting really serious. And so I moved to Italy. When I moved here and I had a permanent residence here, the first residence permit you get is 5 years, I went back and asked for the UK visa. As you have probably already figured it out, I do not give up. And so I asked for the UK visa again. This time I have a permanent residence here, so you can see that I have intentions of actually staying here in this country where I currently am, in Italy. I don't remember if at that time we were already married or not and I had children. Honestly, I don't remember, because that could have been a good reason, a good attachment for them to give me the visa. Or we didn't have kids yet, but the fact that I now had a permanent residence was proof enough. Honestly, I don't remember. I don't remember what the facts were, if I already had children. But anyway, this time they granted me the visa because they could prove that I now have a real attachment here. Either it was the kids or the actual long-term residence permit that I had by the time. And so I got the UK visa. And from that time on, I was in and out of the UK also because it's so close to Italy and I have friends and family there. Oh, and guys, that was the end of my visa nightmares. These stories are from many years ago. I'm now an Italian citizen, so I can enter these countries with no problems at all. But guys, trust me, Anyone who has had a visa nightmare knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's very frustrating, especially for people like us who come from these countries in Africa where they are not sure what your intentions for going to the Western world are. Ladies and gentlemen, that marks the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, let me know down in the comment section. If you want to know anything more about the visa process, you can just DM me. My Instagram handle is right there, or you can just leave a comment down in the comment section and I'll be sure to reply. I already had a video about the visa tips and what you need to have prepared for you to ask for the Schengen visa from Uganda, Africa. You can go and check that out. And see you in my next one. Bye bye.